Good morning and welcome to another Fundamentals of Science video from the Seattle Children's Museum. My name is Daniel and today we're going to be working on some constellations. Do you know much about constellations? Or maybe you've never heard that word before. A constellation is a shape we can see in the night sky made of stars. So we can see all the different stars in the night sky. Here in Seattle, it's a little hard to see some of them, but if we get right outside the city, we can see some awesome stars. And constellations are patterns and shapes that people all over the world make with the stars. They can be used to tell stories and remember history. They can be used to help us navigate and find our way through the world. And they can be used just to tell time and to see really interesting shapes. So today, what we're going to do is we're going to be making our own constellations. To make your own constellation, we're going to need a few materials. We're going to need some black construction paper, a big wide piece of cardboard, a pencil, a white crayon. The crayon needs to be white or a lighter color, maybe like gray, and a flashlight. Since I don't have a regular flashlight with me, and because it'll actually work a little better, I'm going to be using my phone as a flashlight today. You might have a phone or another flashlight at home that you can use. It just matters that it can emit light. Today we're also going to need a dark place. So to test out our constellations, you're going to have to wait till the sun goes down right around bedtime to see your constellations, or maybe go into a dark room with no windows or into a closet to really see your constellation shine. All right. We're going to start by grabbing one of our black pieces of construction paper and drawing a shape on it. Usually, the stories that we tell with constellations have animals in them. So today I've drawn a turtle. It's a little hard to see, but I've drawn a turtle. You could draw anything. Mine is supposed to be the tortoise from the story, the tortoise and the hare, so that we can see our constellation and tell a story with it. So draw an animal shape, and once you have your animal, then you can move on to the next step and think of a story you might be able to tell with your animal. Once you have your animal drawn with your white crayon on your black paper, you're then going to grab your cardboard, and you're going to lay your cardboard flat on a table in front of you like this, and you're going to lay your drawing down. You're going to grab that white crayon again, and you're going to add some dots to your drawing, and those are going to be the stars. So to show really well, I'm going to actually draw some star shapes on mine. And you want to go around the outline of your drawing. You don't want to show all the detail. You want to show most of the shape of your drawing. Think about the way constellations can connect to each other. One constellation you might already be familiar with is the Big Dipper. It looks like a giant spoon in the sky. That's actually part of a larger constellation called Ursa Major, which is the mother bear or the great bear in the sky. And if you look at all of Ursa Major together, you can see the Big Dipper right in there, part of it, and then the whole thing is one big bear in the sky. For my turtle, I think I'm going to be a little more complex than the Big Dipper, but a little less complex than some of the other constellations that we can see in the sky. All right. So I've got my stars drawn on my turtle. You can kind of see the difference between my turtle with the stars and my turtle without the stars. So I've gone around the outside of the turtle, and each one of these big dots you can see, these star shapes, are going to be the star pattern of my constellation, going all the way around the turtle. So now that I have my stars drawn, my spaces for stars to be seen, I'm going to take my paper, set it down on my construction paper again. I'm going to grab my pencil, and we're not going to write with our pencil today. We're going to be doing something a little different. We're going to poke a big hole in all of those star shapes that we made. So we're going to take the pencil, right down on top of the cardboard, and we're going to push and twist a little maybe till we get a hole in our paper. It's kind of hard to see, but I've got a hole in my paper right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to punch holes in all the different spaces that I drew stars. Now that I have holes in all the places I drew stars, you can kind of see it easier on the back of the paper. You can see there's a bunch of holes in my paper. I'm actually going to make those holes bigger. I'm going to take my pencil and I'm going to push it all the way through to make a whole pencil-sized hole in my paper. And I'm going to do that for all the holes on my paper till I have some really nice big holes for stars to shine through. Now, constellations are made of stars, but you might not really know what a star is. Our sun is the closest star to us, and it emits light so that it takes a significant amount of time for light to get from the star, the sun, to us. That means the stars that we can see shining in the sky shone the light that we're seeing years ago, and that if they went out, we wouldn't even know that the star went out for a significant amount of time. So once you have all your holes punched, like so, you're going to need to go into a dark space and use your flashlight to shine through your paper. I don't have a dark space right now that I can go into, but later tonight we're going to go and see if we can see our stars shining on a big wall here at my house. But if you're doing it right now, you're going to take your flashlight, you're going to hold your paper just like this, and you're going to let the stars shine through against some kind of wall, like the wall behind me, or it could be another large piece of paper. It could even be against, you could shine it on somebody else. And as we shine our light and try to get the light to cover our whole paper, we'll start to see our constellation on the wall behind us. So let's head to a dark place and see if we can make our constellation shine. Hey there, museum friends. It's now the evening and it's nice and dark in my house. I have the lights on right now and we're ready to try out our constellations from earlier. So I'm going to turn off the lights. I'm going to grab my flashlight. Today I'm using my cell phone, but you could be using a regular flashlight. And I'm going to hold it about this far away from my paper and let it shine through and show just my stars on the wall. So you won't be able to see all the little detail and drawings that I put on my turtle, but you'll be able to see the light hit the wall and look just like a constellation. I'm going to turn off the lights and we're going to see how this goes. So it's now quite dark in this room, but I'm going to add some light. Now you should be able to see a little better. You can see the chair I was sitting in. And we can see with no paper in front of my light, all you can see is the wall behind me. but I'm going to take the paper and put it in front of the camera now so you can see. This is my turtle drawing from earlier. You can see my nice turtle drawing. You can see the crayon. And if I hold it right in front of the light that I'm using, I move it just like so, you should be able to see on that wall, you should be able to see my constellations coming through. And we can see the shape of the turtle, or at least most of it. You can move it around a little so we can see a little better. We can see the shape of that turtle. So if I were to see stars in this shape in the night sky, I could remember to draw my imaginary lines, my invisible lines between them, and see the turtle and remember the turtle from my story of the tortoise and the hare. What kind of things can you make with your constellations, and what kind of stories can you tell with the stars in the sky? Now that we've checked out our constellation shining, were you able to see the stars of your constellation and fill in those imaginary lines that connect the shape together? That's super awesome. You should try to take some time and go outside in the nighttime with your grown-up and see if you can find some stars in the sky and make some constellations of your own, or look up where some constellations are going to be, just like the Big Dipper is connected to the North Star, and try and find some constellations that already exist, or invent some of your own. Try to tell some stories with the stars. Thanks for joining me for Fundamentals of Science. Can't wait to see you for another program.